Hello, everybody. I'm Kanard Lewis, and this right here is the last interview for season 12. And who do we have in the station? What is your name?
Ribble.
Nice to
I'm
meet you,
Ribble.
Ribble.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ribble. Just tell the fans a little bit about yourself. Major, where you're from, just a quick background.
Okay. I'm from Rochester.
Okay, the Rock of the Rock.
Yep.
Come on now.
I'm from Rochester. Lived there my whole life. Came here because it was like a good distance away from home.
Okay.
And I'm studying sociology, and I have a second major in self-design and activism, and a minor in psychology. So I like people.
Interesting. Why did you get into those majors? Like, why psychology?
Okay, so I was originally a psych major because I thought I wanted to be like someone that worked with like the mentally ill. Like I thought I wanted to work. Have you seen like Silence of the Lambs? Have you seen that?
I've seen part of it, but I do know the reference about just like how his mind was acting like in that like imprisonment. I believe it was, right. He was in prison. It was like a murder or something.
I was gonna say I wanted to be the lady.
Oh, him. Oh, I think
I was like wondering when you were gonna stop explaining. I was like,
what was her name again? No, what's it?
Clarice is her name in the
movie.
movie.
No, but I mean like the actor.
Jodie Foster.
There we go, Foster.
Yeah, I wanted to be her because I was like, this would be so cool to work with like the criminally, mentally ill.
Mm-hmm. How come? Like why that specific? Why not? You talk about people, but why that field of people? Why not kids or elderly?
I just like stuff that's really like my favorite movies are the ones that mess with your head, so I thought it'd be super cool to live my life like trying to figure out those like twists and stuff and like figure out why this person did this and like, so I thought that would be really cool. And then I realized I didn't want to, and I wanted to like, I started getting into activism my first semester. You know Monica?
Yeah, Monica
Manning, yeah, she got me into it. I met her and I was like, whew, I guess I'm really passionate about this now, so that's where I am right now.
How what do you necessarily do in the activism field? Like what do you
So because it's self-design, I got to create like what it was going to be. So I just call it activism because it's basically what it is. So I have communication, political science, African American studies, all that good stuff. So it's just like a lot of history, a lot of learning how things work and figuring things out.
Interesting. And if you being you now, obviously that didn't just come out the snap of the finger. So if you were to choose 3 instances in your life, good or bad, that really shaped who you are, what would they be?
Okay. First one, middle school.
Okay.
My dad married this lady. Okay. And she ended up having borderline personality disorder, which can either be the loud form or the quiet form. Mm-hmm. She had the loud form, which is where you like lash out at people. And she taught me so much about like mental health, and like I saw like the really nasty side of it, and I think it's taught me to be like really empathetic and like understanding. And that like got me right into psych. I was like, I want to work with people like her that like have mental disorders. Other 2 events. This is a big one. So last summer, this is super personal. Last summer, got arrested for shoplifting. Super dumb, super dumb. And through my activism, I've learned obviously the perspectives of people of color and just like all different people within marginalized groups. And I know obviously police brutality and like people of color being afraid of police. And I got a taste of that this summer when I got arrested. Now I'm like totally afraid. Every time I see a cop, I get the worst anxiety. And I know that how I feel is just a fraction of how like people within these groups feel. So it gave me like a lot of perspective. So I think that shaped how I like just like keep empathizing, keep understanding, like even if it doesn't make sense, like like people that don't believe in police brutality, like I have to never be the type of person to like not try to understand. So I don't know, just gave me perspective in life. I don't know a third. Those are 2 big things. I can't really think of any.
how would you define yourself in 3 words?
Oh, okay. Empathetic. I said that. Really self-driven. I like this semester. No, yeah, this and last semester I got really into like working. Like I'm studying all the time, and it's just because I was like, this is what I want to do, and then like I get so into things when I want to do them. So I think I'm really self-driven. Constantly like dazed. I have the worst ADHD. It's so bad. So I'm always like zoning out.
How? Okay, so talking about your ADHD or your ADD, because my sister had it, or has it still.
I was gonna say I'm really sorry.
No. So, how have you dealt with that on, I guess, a mental level and I guess like a social level? Because I know that's not necessarily easy to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like how did you deal with it, and how did you find hope to not let it control you?
I'm just laughing because I think of the things I do when my ADD is acting up. Like there'll be days where I'm like totally in the zone, focused, and there'll be days when it's acting up. It's like one of those days where I'm just out of it. And I've been told by so many people that because of it, I'll be having a conversation with someone like this, and then I'll like forget where I am. It's not like I'm blacking out, but I'll zone out super hard during the conversation, forget that I'm talking to someone, and just walk away.
Just walk away.
I don't realize until people tell me later on.
Why? It just happens, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I do it. I've never I can't think of a single time that I've done it. But people are like, yeah, you just kind of left.
You wouldn't just walk out this interview. You know, just walk. Walk away and just like dip. No, that's interesting.
It's not like a struggle. I mean, it is when I'm trying to like listen, because I want to be the best listener for people because I am so empathetic. I want to be able to be like, how was your day, and not forget what they said immediately after.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's not like a struggle. It's not like the hardest thing I've ever gone through.
Yeah.
So, it's just like a thing I like to make fun of. You know how you have that part of yourself that you're like, this is kind of funny.
How come? Like I could get the reason why you could make fun of it, but why have you made fun of it?
Oh, well, I'm not like everyone that has ADHD. It's funny.
No, I get it. It's just another way of just probably coping, or just not taking it so seriously because it is part of you. You gotta laugh at yourself.
Yeah. Well, because the things I do are funny. Like I don't have severe ADHD. I just have the kind where I like just can't focus. It's not like it affects like
your behavior or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have the kind that like makes me act up. I was never that kid. So I just laugh at it because I do all the dumb shit. Like, can I say that? Can I swear on this?
Yeah, you're fine.
But yeah, I do all the funny stuff. Like walk away mid-conversation. Like, it's nothing serious. It's nothing severe. So I just laugh at it.
Interesting. Knowing you.
Knowing me.
And just getting to know you even more throughout this semester and a half per se. I know that you consider yourself trans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how is that process? Dealing with people that didn't necessarily agree with your decision.
Okay, that's a good question. So I'm super new to this whole trans thing. I realized recently, after surrounding myself with more trans people, and I listened to their stories, and I realized that's exactly how I feel, or it was a variation of that. But I realized, so trans and, gender identity is so interesting. It's such a spectrum, and it, goes a million different ways. But people always think it's, boy-girl, which is the binary.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I don't feel like a girl. I've never identified with, women's movements. I'm a huge supporter regardless, but I've never felt like I identified with, feminist groups personally. I never felt like I was affected by the things that they were struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm not a woman. I'm not, totally female. But I'm also, I can't say I'm a man. That's just not, coming out of my mouth. I don't feel that way. So I'm trans-masculine. So basically trans is just when you're born into a body and you don't identify with the body and the gender you were given.
Yeah.
And I identify outside of that.
Social construct.
Yeah, exactly. So if man is here, woman's here, and there's a bunch of different directions, but if you have the binary, I'm right here.
Mm.
So.
Have you ever gotten bullied or discriminated against because of your choices? or because you quote unquote don't look like a girl and you're not supposed to be dressing like that?
I think my mom was like the hardest on me. No one ever like, because like there's always been the tomboy thing, and like tomboys don't really get made fun of from what I know. It's just how I've been my whole life for most of it. But my mom was always like, I raised a lady, you know, dress like a girl. So yeah, it's just been that. But other than that, I've been totally like open about who I am. But again, the trans thing is recent, but I'm still like, I've always been really open about like things I feel, stuff like that. So people.
Do you ever like not love yourself because you were doing something that you did not like? In terms of and this could be in terms of just this process, or maybe just in your past in general. Do you ever find a moment where you just didn't love how you felt or who you were as a person, and you just did not change until it just became a moment where you had to?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Okay, I've said this like a million times in this interview, but the whole empathy thing, that has gotten me so screwed so many times.
Interesting. How? Like screwed in like a negative way, or?
Yeah.
How?
not like sex.
No. Obviously. No, I'm just thinking that because when you think of empathizing, I think that's such a powerful tool. Not everybody can empathize. So how was that a negative like aspect?
It's really good for other people, but when you, are you familiar with codependency?
Yeah, like you not being able to depend on yourself, so you depend on other people, like just getting needy, stuff like that.
To a certain extent. It's a need for other people. It's a need to have them in your life and to do anything and everything to like keep them in your life.
Okay. And that's what you felt your empathizing was doing, or?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Like you like give and give and give to make sure that person stays, and you know, because it's like it's nice to be needed. Also, I need you here, so it's like a back and forth thing. So when you like do a lot for other people, you forget to take care of yourself.
Very true.
And that's something I've had to learn to not do.
Very true.
So yeah. Yeah,
because that's an interesting notion how your empathizing wasn't helping you out to its fullest extent, or maybe it was just being used in excess. You know, and it's like it's like your greatest asset became your greatest downfall.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like me with like happiness, in terms of happiness was a good way to deal or to not get consumed with the pain of getting bullied and being hurt. But it was my greatest downfall because it was a wall of oppression. So, that being said, do you ever find moments in your life where you have regretted things that you've done? Or maybe you don't, or just maybe do you find moments in your life where you're not complete?
Do you mean in reference to the empathy thing?
Or just in general, yeah.
Times when I don't feel complete.
Or what's your greatest fear?
Ooh. Greatest fear. My mouth made a funny noise. It was like a suction cup.
Gotta have the good suction.
Oh boy, you said it. Biggest fear. Always been afraid of drowning. Drowning is so scary. I'm always afraid when I'm driving by water. That like in my car, that's the scariest thing. The scariest thing.
Yep. Very scary. I feel that because it's like, I remember this one time when I was in DR, I couldn't swim, and I was in the 5 feet water when I was still like 4 feet 4, and I was trying to like.
Is that how you swim? That's probably why you were gonna drown.
No, but I was doing this to try to like gain oxygen, but I couldn't, and they saved me. I was like, it wasn't like I sunk under, but it was like when your head is just constantly you just jump in.
Yeah.
It just wasn't good.
My cousin tried to drown me when I was little. Not on purpose. She was like trying to mess with me, and she was like, we were in the pool together, and it was just me and her, and there was some lady trying to like watch us, and she was like dunking me a lot, and I was like, I can't breathe, and I was like 6. I was like, I don't know how to swim. So we laugh about it now because we didn't know any better.
That's good.
Other fears, estrangement. So like, do you ever watch those Disney movies or any movie really where it's like the kids like, I wish you weren't my mom, or I wish I was never born, or some shit like that.
I remember Selena Gomez did that in the Wizardly Place movie.
Yeah.
Say, I wish you were never born. I wish I was never born or something.
Yeah, and it like
It's
totally
just messing
switches
with-
reality.
Yeah.
That's such a huge fear of mine. Like things not being how they are. Like I love change, but like if I were to wake up and like not know a single person, that is such a huge fear of mine. Like just to have things be like
Laid out for you.
No, not so much laid out for me, just like a separate reality. I don't know. If I woke up really confused, like whenever I'm really confused after a nap, I like freak out because I'm like, oh my god, what is life like?
So do you ever find yourself not being able to flow a lot? Because you talk about that confusion. It's like I don't know what to do. I'm just confused. So do you find yourself not flowing enough, or like it has to be like a schedule?
I think I flow. I think because like the after nap confusion lasts like 30 minutes. What do you mean by the confusion then?
No, like it's like you want things to be in place.
Yeah.
Right? And if they're not, then you get a little confused about it, or just a little unstable about it.
Well, no, it's never personally happened to me. It's like, or like when I don't know. How about this? When I'd wake up from a nap when I was little, my mom wouldn't be there. Like when she'd have me nap with her when I was like a little kid, and I'd wake up and she was like in the shower or something, I'd be like, where's my mom? Stuff like that. So like little things, but I've never like woken up in a different reality. So it's not something that like actually happens to me. It's just something I'm afraid of.
And how would you just to close it out? How would you use your experiences and what you go through to help out the next generation? How about kids that are necessarily going through what you're going through, or just even in your field?
Okay. That was a good question. I've learned a lot about like trying to understand other perspectives and like listening to other people. And I think that we gotta teach, because like prejudice and racism, like all those things are learned. So I think I really want to advocate for teaching and educating people on like social issues and like how to be a good person and stuff like that.
And I think that's very big, especially within the white community. Just because I remember listening to Carruthers. She was a female speaker. She was a black woman and lesbian. There's nothing
like she is
more
the marginalized
of
the marginalized.
Yeah, exactly. There's something stronger than that. And she came in last year during History Month of 2016.
Black History Month? Or
Which
History Month?
Yeah, Black History Month. And
all of them, all the history months. She came in every month.
Pride, woman, black, just stretched her out.
That's what they did.
But she came in and she said this one line. It was like, black people's job is not to teach white people how not to be racist. That's a white person's job. The allies, the people that are woke. Black people's job is to teach other black folks, other people of color, to love your skin, to love your hair, to love your beauty.
I like that.
And that's an interesting concept. So both sides still doing great things, still play a vital role within change. But now I think it's good that again you're gaining perspective, you're understanding, and I think that's what's so beautiful, because you want to help out. So what. You heard it here, folks. TKW, interview 4 for season 12. It's Ribble on the scene. I see you next week. Stay up, stay safe, and you have a good one.